Strap yourselves in, today we are looking at The Judge by 21 Pilots. G'day guys and welcome to another Learn Some Drums lesson. This time it is for The Judge by 21 Pilots. I had so many requests for this one, so I assume that you guys are pretty familiar with the song already, which is great because that means you'll know when it goes to double time, when it goes back to half time. But the cool thing is that there's a bit of metric modulation at the end of the bridge. So I'm going to do my best to explain that as clearly as possible so that you know what's going on and so that you can count it. So when you're playing the song or you're jamming with your mates or something like that, you can nail it absolutely perfectly. Anyway, let's hop on the kit and I'll start explaining what's going on. There's a really long intro with ukulele, and so the drums don't come in for a while, but when they do, they're playing kind of like a beat, but it's kind of filled out a little bit as well. So we're starting out with a drag, and we want to drag the snare drum onto the kick drum, if that makes sense. So 2 notes on the snare, straight onto the kick. Okay, so that might be a little bit tricky. If you can't just hit the 2, you could buzz it. But we are going to need this a little bit later in the song as well. So if you can work it out and grab it now, then awesome. So anyway, let me play for you the first couple of bars when the drums come in. Cool stuff. And then we start playing a beat and it is super straightforward, just like this. Later in the song, we're going to use that exact same beat, but add a whole bunch of ghost notes. So grab that now, and then hopefully you'll be able to add the ghost notes. But if you can't get the ghost notes, just come back to that really basic, simple beat, just so you can play along with the song. At the end of that section, there is a tiny little fill, and it goes like this. And then we are into double time, so it's really up tempo, and this is what the beat sounds like. We switch back to halftime, and we're a little bit busier on the groove this time, so let me play through it slowly. At the end of that section, we have another similar fill to the ones that we've already played. I don't think I've mentioned yet, but I've written everything straight, even though in the song it does have a fair bit of a swing to it. So if you're reading the notation and you can't quite get it to sound right, just try swinging it a little bit more, and then I'm sure you'll be able to match up with the song. Anyway, the next section is very similar to our intro, but we're just adding some crash cymbals as well, but they sound really like big and kind of a bit muffled, I suppose. So I'm going to play them up on the ride cymbal. But anyway, that section goes like this. And then we are into our 4 on the floor groove, but we're a bit busier with some more ghost notes. Basically, you can probably just try and get as many ghost notes as you can in there, but this is what I can hear on the recording, so I've written it out for you here. Once again, there's a fill at the end of that section, and it's very similar to the ones we've already done. And then we are straight into our bridge. Now we've got a big open hi-hat sizzle, and then some kicks, snare drum and floor tom, and in the second bar there's triplets. So that goes like this. And now we are up to our metric modulation part, which is really exciting because I do love this stuff, and I'm really glad that there's a song that I actually get to explain it to you so you'll be able to hear what's going on. So metric modulation, basically, we're taking one subdivision. So in this case, we're taking triplets, and then we're turning them into something else. So we're turning our triplets into 16th notes. So what ends up happening is that we end up with a slower tempo. Okay? So we're going to play 4 lots of triplets, and then we're going to start accenting the first of every 4 notes in the triplet, and pretend that they're 16th notes, and then that's going to move us into our new tempo. Let me play it for you slowly. We're playing exactly the same thing, but we're just thinking about it differently, and that shifts our tempo. So anyway, altogether, coming out of the bridge, the metric modulation section sounds like this. Hopefully that's been helpful, but as always, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. Anyway, moving on to the next section, we've got this really down-tempo kind of groove. A little bit busy on the hi-hats, but not too hard. It goes like this. Halfway through that section, we add extra kick drums, so we're playing all 4 16th notes on beat 1. We have a build-up fill onto a crash, and then we have a break while the tempo shifts again. So that fill just goes like this. And then the melodic instruments come back in, so you'll be able to grab the tempo, and when we come back in, we're playing this groove. Then we add hi-hats and just change the groove a tiny little bit. And then we play that groove until the very end of the song. So those are all the bits that you'll need to play The Judge by 21 Pilots. There is a lot of chop and change tempo-wise, and there is that tricky little metric modulation in the middle after the bridge, but hopefully you guys will be able to wrap your heads around it. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, happy practicing, and I'll catch you at the next lesson.